Hey everybody, Forever Retro 2 here. You know, fat kid behind the camera showing his face once more. So this must mean part 2 of my DVDs. Now these are just the movies. I'm going to state if I either bought them or if they're ones that I got from people from when I lived at the old place. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first movie I got here is Fortress. This is a damn good sci-fi movie. Basically, it's about, if memory serves me, I haven't seen it in a while because I got so many movies, and you know, sometimes I play video games or I got other stuff to do, so I haven't really watched it in a while. But what I remember is the character Christopher Lambert is played by John Benerick, I want to say. This takes place in the year 2017, so we're not in that dystopian. We're not that dystopian yet, but we're getting there. So give it some time. Anyways, there's a fortress underground, right? And they basically control men. You're allowed to keep your first child, right? The second one is their child, and they make it to a cybernetic killing machine run by computers and shit. They're kind of like cyborgs, you know, human robots as they call it in this movie, but they're cyborgs. Come on, let's just cut the bullshit and let's just say for what it is. And basically, it's, if memory, Christopher Lambert's character John, he wants to basically get out of there and have a second child because unfortunately their first child died. I don't want to give too much away because I really think you should see this movie. It's really good. I like it. To me, it's a underrated gem, and it's pretty damn awesome, pretty ace. There is a sequel too. I haven't watched it yet, and I don't intend to because, well, you know, a lot of my friends that liked this movie, because, you know, we've talked about it during our conversations, and they said, some of them saw the sequel, and they said, if you have any love and admiration of the original like we do, please don't. He's like, it's almost as tragic as the sequel to Lawnmower Man, Job's War, I believe it was called. It goes by many names, I noticed it. I remember seeing the trailer, being interested in it, and then when I actually did watch it though, the sequel to Lawnmower Man 2, and it was nothing like the original, and it wasn't very good. It was not very good, but I guess Job, I think becomes a good guy, I think, if memory serves me. I just remember it being forgettable and shit. I watched it once, and I have no intention of watching it again. The first one, on the other hand, I'll watch a few times. I watched it twice. I'll watch it again. To me, it's an enjoyable film. I also like the SNES game. It's also on Genesis, too, if you prefer that. I mean, whatever your platform is. Not everyone likes it. I do. And I have the cartridge, and hopefully one day I'll beat that fucking game. But I can't get very far because it's a difficult game. And it's got different gameplay types. It's really cool, though. You should check that out, too, as well. If you haven't seen Lawnmower Man or played the game, you should give it a try. Be fair with it, though. You know, don't just be like, oh, this is dog shit, because I know a couple gamers, not naming any names, who will just play a game for a couple minutes and claim it's already shit. So, there you go. Now, this movie is hated by many, many, many people, and I understand why. They changed a lot of stuff with the lore and a lot of stuff with the background story of it, but I particularly like this one. It's the first live-action Transformers. I did like this movie for a multitude of reasons. First of all, I liked how they have most of the original voice actors, if not all of them. Megatron looks dope. I mean, you can actually see him in the box art. He's right there. He looks awesome. And of course, you have Megan Fox, and back then, goddamn, she was a fappable beast. It's like I wish she posed nude. I would be so happy if she did at least at that time frame. I mean, she still looks good, but not as good as she did in it. My God, I mean, most of you who've seen this, when she has the car lid open and you see her body and everything, it's like you see her her curves and oh my God, just fapaliciously fantastic. But you know, this was really good though. Had a lot of action, of course, Michael Bay explosions and shit, but I did like this one. I watched part of the sequel, and then I could already tell, from that point on, it wasn't going to be anything that was going to interest me, pretty much. I pretty much ignored the rest of them. This one was alright, though. This one was okay. So, your opinions may vary, of course. Alright, now, this one was given to me... Well, was given to me when I lived at the old place. Even though I already owned a copy through other means, but Spider-Man 3. Okay. I mean, it's okay. I still think the second Spider-Man of this particular And and this pretty much, I mean, with Tobey Maguire, that trilogy, if you want, is it's okay. The second one was better. What really disappointed me about this one is we were about to see Venom, right? And I love Venom. Venom is awesome. I mean, I love the way I like his symbiote design. I like the way he looks. He's awesome. You barely see him, and when you do, like, you can't really distinguish his features for a long period of time because the camera's obviously moving a lot and it's really, really dark. And it just disappointed the shit out of me. But it's an okay movie. It's funny that Tobey Maguire's, when he becomes Spider-Man, or in the movie, you know, Kristen Dunst, or whatever fucking name is, I think, yeah, or is it Kirsten? Kirsten Dunst. When she breaks up with fucking old boy, and he gets in this emo stage where he has crawling in my skin, black makeup on his eyes and shit. That was dumb. Okay? Like I said, okay movie. You have Venom, you have the Sandman, and it's an okay movie. It's not as good as 2. 2 still, in my opinion, was the best one. The first one was okay. The first one was pretty good. But the second one was still my favorite. I watched that one probably more times than my age. Now, these I'm going to have to show off to at the same time because they're packs. As some of you may know, Walmart gives out packs sometimes with movies, right? And that reminds me, I still got to show you guys the one movie I forgot. I forgot to dig it out, though, because it fell behind here because some little feline likes to jump on things. We'll save that for the end. Anyways, this is a 2-packer. It's basically all the Freddy movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, all the way till Freddy's Dead, and New Nightmare, and of course, Freddy vs. Jason. Now, these did not age very well. I don't even think they were in age. I mean, the thing is most of the people I know were Jason fans, because he gave no fucks, he didn't talk, he just fucking killed somebody in a brutal manner, and the shock value was cool. Now, I do like Freddy's attitude. He's funny, he makes me laugh, and that's why I got these. I will admit, though, the first 2 movies of the series, in my opinion, were probably the weak points, at least to a degree. Dream Warriors on were very, very enjoyable. And in the Final Nightmare, you can't take that movie seriously. It's funny. I mean, that's the movie where he's like, can't forget about the power glove, you know, and good graphics, you know, all those lines and shit, and it's hilarious. Anyways, these cost me about $5 a pop. They were on sale. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, that movie was odd because, you know, I'm like, okay, I thought Freddy was dead, you know, but apparently not. I mean, obviously he starred in a couple more movies after this. I mean, you had Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and you had Freddy vs. Jason, which was in development hell for a very long time. I remember that was announced, I think, in 94, 95 in Sega Visions. If you guys remember that magazine. That was basically the Sega equivalent to Nintendo Power. It also didn't last as long as Nintendo Power. God, Nintendo Power lasted a long time. Ooh. Anyways, I should show you how this works. This is as bare bones as you can get, okay, because you get the movie, sure, but they're stacked. They're stacked. So basically, you know, you are prone to scratching. See, what I do is, you know, I take one disc. You see how this is the bottom of the disc? What I do is I take, okay, here's what New Nightmare, and here's Freddy's Dead. I put the labels on top of it like this. Scratching does not happen as much. And I also put the smooth surfaces together like this, like a sandwich. Because in that way, the discs don't scratch. At least from my experience. You may do it differently. And of course, the other boxes the same way. They're all stacked. So, yeah, I got those for about $5 a pop. They had them on sale. They were getting rid of a lot of movies at the time, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get on that," and I did. And yeah, they're fun. So every time I want a Freddy-a-thon, I can do that. I do have a friend loaned me the Friday the 13th box set. I forgot the name of it, but it has all the Jason movies, and I ripped it onto my PC. Yeah, call me a thief. I don't care. And here's, like I said, you know how I said I had Spider-Man 3? Well, I got the whole damn trilogy. And I bought this at Walmart as well. This was $10. And as before, they're all stacked on one. And they're bare bones, you know, it's just the movie. They don't really have any of this special, like, special editions or anything like that, or added content or whatever. It's just the movies. Like I said, they're okay. Like I said, two good stuff. And the game, the second game, is fantastic. Now I'm gonna have to switch these around because I got to show one before I show the other. Okay. Oh, I remember when DVDs came in these kind of cases, and I hated it. I'll show you what I mean. All right. Clash of the Titans. This is a fucking classic. All right, I love this fucking movie. You have, you know, for the women anyways, or if you're gay, depending on what your preference is, you have greasy fucking chests. You have 80s pop culture shit galore. You have an owl that's made of like brass and it like has glowing eyes and shit. I forgot the name of that. I have not seen this in quite a few years actually, but if you guys remember, I don't know if you remember these. Okay, DVD cases where you have to open them from the front and then you open it up and there's your disc and then there's your character select. There's a scene where the princess gets out of the bathtub and you get to see her ass, and she has like this nice ass. I used to rewind and play that in FAP. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, then can't get one without the other. I also have the Reboot. Bought this at Blockbuster for about $6. Everyone seems to hate this. I don't hate it. I don't like it as much as the original. Hell no. The original was just too good, you know, for its time frame. I mean, you got, and originally you got stop motion animation. You have, this actually has some special features, which I didn't know, but they're not like anything to be like, oh my god about. It's just, it shows a trailer, interactive menus, and the theatrical trailer. But yeah, another movie made by the same developer is Jason and the Argonauts. That's a good one, and I need to get that because I really love that one. And there's another one. I think it's the... actually, you know what? Yeah, I think the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, was it? Anyways, I need to find all the movies he's made. I don't remember the... Let's see, what's his name? Sorry. Ray Harryhausen, I believe is the name of the guy that did the effects anyways. But yeah. Yeah, produced by Charles Shiner and, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be all slow and shit, but I'm just trying to get yeah, Charles H. Shiner, I think that's how it's pronounced, and then Ray Harryhausen. I need all their movies, though, that's what I'm saying. Great fucking flick, though. I mean, the stop motion is dated, obviously. Now we have CG, but still. I mean, that's where this movie comes in. All the problems you have with the original have been fixed with this. A lot of people hate it, though. And I don't understand why. I thought it was fine. I did not see, I think it's called The Wrath of the Titans, which is a sequel. I did not see that, but I heard that was bad. And I kind of don't want to ruin the image I got from the reboot. I'm not saying the reboot is not better than the original, but it's still a decent reboot, is what I'm getting at. I know I'm getting all over the place. I apologize. Okay. This one was... Hello. Oh. It looks like we have a lot more stuff in here than I originally thought. Okay. We have the 2-disc Thrill Ride edition of Final Destination 3. Now, here's the thing about Final Destination, okay? I don't have a problem with it. However, it's repetitive as hell. Okay? It's like every movie somebody dies in some supernatural fashion that you wouldn't think would happen normally. I mean, a lot of people remember, I think it's the second movie where the fucking shit, the logs break off the truck and they go flying and impale somebody. And then now every time they drive behind one of those in real life, they get afraid that's going to happen. I mean, it is a possibility, sure. But it's very unlikely because they check the, at least most companies are competent and careful enough to check the harnesses and the chains to make sure they're tight enough to not fucking fly and hit people and break shit. So that's interesting, but once you watch one of these movies, you don't want to watch them again. They don't have any rewatchability to them. Now, funny enough, I just looked in here for the first time, and I noticed a couple, okay, this got to be clean. It's got some grime on it. First of all, I found a burned copy of the first Final Destination. I don't know why that's in there. The first one was good. I actually saw that in the theater. Now, see, I was lacking sleep. I didn't sleep for like 3 days because that was... right when me and my first love broke up for the last time. And I couldn't sleep, and I was a mess. So my mom tried to cheer me up by taking me to movies. Yeah, that's nice of her. She also took me to rallies, and at the time they had the A1 Steakhouse burgers, I think, with the purple onions and stuff. She got me a couple of those, because I haven't ate either. And I also found legit copy of Alien, the first one. I did not know I had those in there. Interesting. Maybe I should check some of these and all these other movies and see if there's... Hey, maybe we'll find some more treasure. Anyways, as the name implies, it has bonus features and, of course, the full screen version of Final Destination 3. Now, this one is the one with the roller coaster, as the title shows off. This is one of the ones I was given. We moved, or did we get this one? And I mean, we got it. You know, we didn't pay for it. Let's just put it that way. We got it from one of the places that was abandoned or given. One of the two. It really doesn't matter, does it? Okay, these kind of go together, but I'm going to show the first one first. I could have got the widescreen version, but at the time I was watching movies on a CRT, so I didn't, think about it. Well, but I wanted to like this. I'm going to give my utmost opinion. I wanted to like this. But you know what this is? History science. That's all you get in this movie is history science until the fucking last, 10 minutes of the movie. Then you finally get a battle between the aliens and the Predator, or the Queen Alien and Predator. It sucked. Bad. Real bad. It was boring as shit. Not as boring as Flight Plan, but pretty damn close. I was so disappointed. I bought this brand new when it was new at Blockbuster. I think I spent $13 on it or $14. I don't really remember the price point. I just remember I wanted to get it because I couldn't watch it in theaters because my friends are a bunch of dicks and didn't want to take me to go see the movie, even though I was willing to pay my way. That's the kind of friends I had growing up, or even in my 20s. Hey, dude, yeah, we went and saw Aliens vs. Predator. How come you didn't give me a call? Oh, we forgot. I.e., you're too fat to fit in the car, or i.e., we didn't want your ass around. Fuck you guys. Friends my ass. Anyways, then there was a sequel, AVP Requiem. This is the unrated version, which has all the blood and everything, and I bought this also at Blockbuster. Not brand new, obviously, it was used, but I did not know of this movie's existence. I'll be honest, I didn't know it existed until I went in there to look at movies, because when I had $20 or something, and there wasn't really anything at Game Crazy or Game Rush at Blockbuster that, I could afford at the time. Either it was too much or it's something I already had and I had the money for it. I always looked at the movies and see what they had. And I saw this. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, there's a sequel? It's good. Here's the problem with it. There is one glaring and kind of a fatal problem with it, depending on how you look at it. It's too dark. You got to turn your brightness up way high to see it. But if you can handle that, the movie is excellent. There's tons of action. Predator just goes full Jason Voorhees on everybody. It's awesome. I really love that movie, and I need to watch it again, soon. So, if you like that kind of shit, give it a try. Alright, now we're going to go to some kid shit for a minute. Of course, I got to show the originals before I show you the newest version of this particular series. Okay, childhood, of course, has to play a part sometimes with the movies we watch. We either remember them being good, we remember them being bad, or we just remember them and want to have them in our collection to watch them from any time we want to. And, well, here you go. The first Ninja Turtles movie, live action, that came out in 1990. I have good memories with this. Well, not necessarily with the DVD, but with the VHS. My brother got the VHS from my aunt one year for Christmas, and we wore the tape out to the point where it snapped. We loved it to death, though. It's Ninja Turtles. Unfortunately, you don't have Bebop and Rocksteady. They didn't come out until Michael Bay did that, and it was very short-lived, but, we finally got it, but look how old we are now. Who gives a shit? I don't like Michael Bay's Turtles. I've watched the first one, and I didn't even care for the sequel at all. I just strayed away. Anyways, this is a nice, lighthearted Ninja Turtles movie. It has some action scenes, and it has some character. It has April O'Neil's in it, played by, I forgot her name. Let's just call her Bitch Tits. And you have also Casey Jones. And, of course, you have the Shredder. This kind of takes... the storyline here is pretty much based off the comic more so than the actual cartoon of the same period. So, you got the cartoon universe and then the comic universe done in live action. So, it's an awesome movie. If you don't mind the cheese of the 90s and whatever with kids' movies and shit, go for it. Or if you've already seen it or have it, hey, there's not much I can say. Alright, this right here is literally, I bought this before I even had a DVD player because for some reason when I was younger, I preferred this over the original. Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze. Why did I prefer this over the original? First of all, I thought it was funny. I thought it was more enjoyable, and I also was a kind of a Vanilla Ice fan. And of course you got Go Ninja, go! And I kept this thing in pristine condition. This was the first DVD I bought with my money. I bought it at Media Play. It was $10. And of course I bought this because... What the fuck happened here? Well, I got some scratches. That's nice. Anyways, the 2007 Cg Tmnt. This was okay. It was basically loosely based off the 2003 series. This one has a bunch of special features, though. Has commentary, alternate opening, deleted scenes, side-by-side comparison, whatnot. I mean, you wouldn't think that, because it just looks like your standard, you know, box of a DVD movie. So you wouldn't think it would have special features, but it does. It lists them in the back. And it even has the alternate ending with Casey and April, so there's that. I like this. I was expecting it to be absolutely woke, cringe, and horrible. You know, even though this was long before the woke period. That didn't happen until about 2016, I want to say. This wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed this. I even like when Raphael and Leonardo fought. And, you know, you had the rain and the lightning, the whole atmosphere behind it. Dope as shit. So if you haven't watched this, give it a try. It's actually pretty damn good. It's a lot better than that piece of shit Nickelodeon fucking thing that was on not too long ago back. I call it the 2012, I think, Ninja Turtles. That sucked. Everyone's like, oh, the story's really good. No, it wasn't. It was garbage. I watched like 5 episodes and I didn't want to watch it again. Now, I remember this being better than it is. This movie sucks, though, now. Because the original is so much better in every way. And even the sequel after this was even worse. But I remember this being better than what it was. But unfortunately, that kind of backfired. It's one of those things when you get older, then you find out something's complete dog shit that you liked when you were younger, you know? Anyways, that is The Never-Ending Story 2, the next chapter, with Jonathan Brandis. Rest in peace. He committed suicide, I think, back in 2003, I want to say, because his career was... he was in stuff like he was in this. He was also in Sequest. I think that was one of his last roles as a actor. Sequest was really good. I wish that would have lasted longer than it did. It only lasted a couple seasons, if memory serves me. Alright. This pile is almost done. I got a even bigger pile to go after this. But I thought this would be a nice starter. Okay, I honestly should show the movie that comes before this, but fuck it, it's in the pile. What the hell? Anyways, Terminator 3, The Rise of Machines. Believe it or not, this isn't that bad. You know, I watched it again recently. It's not as bad. At first, I hated it. I'll be honest. But, you know, it's not... Obviously, it's not James Cameron. It's somebody else. But, Mario Kassar, I want to say. But I understand this was also a development hell project, I guess. I mean, the Terminator 2 was like 1991. And this came out in 2003. Or was it 2003? I want to say 2003. Let's see. Yes, 2003, yeah. I remember when this came out, I was stoked because I loved 2 so much and I wanted to see a follow-up to that. And I finally got one when I was an adult. And when you're an adult, everything that you liked from the past, when it's brought back, just doesn't shine in the same light. I think that's just me. Because I know a lot of people still get excited over reboots and shit. I don't. Especially today. My God, the wokeness of it all. No. I just pretend it doesn't exist. Like Top Gun Maverick. Doesn't exist to me. Sorry. Anyways, this is the special widescreen edition with 2 discs. And one of them has the widescreen, and the other one has special edition. The special editions. Yeah, that's the special features, and that has the widescreen. Yeah, I got this used at Blockbuster, as you can probably tell. I mean, you can tell this by looking. I don't know if this piece of shit camera will pick up the look. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, because Blockbuster was literally right down the road, right down the street from my house. I could go there anytime. It's a 10-minute walk. This movie I love dearly, and a lot of people do too. This is definitely an instant classic. Some people may hate it, and that's okay. But there's not one person I met, at least in my lifetime, that dislikes this movie. But it's fucking Braveheart. Yeah, Mel Gibson in Braveheart. Awesome movie about the timeless tale of William Wallace, how he won the Scots their freedom. If you haven't seen this movie, where the fuck have you been? You gotta watch this shit. It's really good. It's got war, blood, gore. Now, the ending pissed me off as a kid, but then later I was only 13 when that movie came out. And I didn't know it was really based off a historic event. Because my parents are dumb shits, and of course my siblings aren't much better. So, you know, I was talking, I think, to a teacher about Braveheart. I'm like, have you ever seen that movie? He's like, oh yeah, that's based off the historical event of William Wallace. And I'm like, that's real? And he's like, oh yeah, it was a real event and it really happened. It was a real person. And I'm like, oh, so that's why he died at the end and no one saved him. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Call me an idiot. I don't care. I've been called everything in the book. I've been called everything under the sun and under the book for both my smarts and my body type. He ain't gonna say anything that I already don't know. All right, this is a disaster movie, and everyone hated this. I remember people online were just bitching up a storm about it. But you know what? I watched it 3 times in my life, and I like it. It's one of the more calmer, I think, disaster films. It's not over the top like 2012 or Deep Impact or even Armageddon, but it's The Day After Tomorrow. I like this movie. I know everyone's probably like, "Ooh, why you like that movie? That movie's garbage." But yeah, I like this movie. It's very entertaining. It's about special, you know, there's disasters, like there's tornadoes and shit, and of course New York freezes over. I mean, I will admit the later half of the movie is a little, like, meh, boring. But there's some suspense elements that I think are within the movie that are nice. The special effects look good too, for as old as this movie is. I like this. I bought this for $10, I believe, at Blockbuster. My mom rented this movie before that, and then I bought it. She was trying to get me to give this to her before I left for Oklahoma, and I told her to fuck off. Well, I didn't say fuck off, but I basically told her, you won't give me Ghostbusters or the other movies like Lion King and shit, so why should I give you one of my movies? Right. This was actually given to me by a guy that's no longer living in Oklahoma. It was a husband of one of Michelle's friends, Bo Rat, because everyone said I should see it. I saw it. I don't like it as much as you all do. I'm sorry. This wasn't all that great. First of all, fucking oh boy looks like a douchebaggery version of Freddie Mercury, and yeah, especially on the back cover. Just look at that. Not to put Freddie Mercury down in any way, because that guy was a fucking king, but yeah. Oh, and I just noticed it. It's not an official copy. It's a bootleg, or it's a burnt copy. I did not know that. That's funny. Oh, dude, it even says widescreen. Oh, this is a bootleg. Check it out, guys. There's Russian. The Russian language. So, and it's even on the back. This is actual bootleg. I thought it was an official copy. Well, I found something new out today, guys. I got a bootleg. That's fine. It doesn't bother me, really, as long as it's watchable and it's in English. My Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is a bootleg. I didn't know that until, well, when I first installed it. Yes, Peter Jackson made this movie, and it was really good. I liked this movie a lot. And I played it on the GameCube, and I had fun with that, too, because it was done in a theatrical way, and I think it's enjoyable, but it's King Kong. This is one of the movies that we found, actually, in an empty place. But let me see what all it has. Okay, I don't know if this is a 2-disc set, or was supposed to be, obviously, because here's the movie, right? And then there's nothing. So maybe that was left in the DVD player. They didn't leave that. Otherwise, I would have probably yanked that too. Because people would just leave their shit. And there's a 10-day period where they can get their stuff. And if they don't, people who ask, they'll give you the keys and say, have fun. You'd be surprised how many fights broke out of that too. Because there's a lot of greedy motherfuckers. And here's another one we found. I don't care for this movie. Michelle likes the series. I don't. I never did. the first one was alright enough, but the rest of them I just pretended it didn't exist. But I'm just going to go ahead and show it anyways. Toy Story. This is the third one, obviously. Let's see if it's actually in the... Yeah, it's there. So, people like this movie, and you guys might be fans of it too, but I'm sorry, I don't... Anything past 2000 by Disney sucked. The last movie I liked, I think I mentioned this on either stream or a Let's Play or something, was Atlantis Lost Empire. That's it. I didn't like anything else after that by Disney. Because they were getting rid of hand-drawn animation and going straight for CG. Okay, this should come as no surprise, because everyone knows how much of an 80s fucking fan I am. I mean, if 80s was a woman, I'd fucking take her home and make sweet, sweet love to her, and she can make me sandwiches. The Goonies. This was given to me for a Christmas present. My friend, I bought him, what did I buy him? I bought him Art of Fighting 2 for the Neo Geo. I bought him the Japanese one because the American one was too expensive, and he wanted the Japanese one for whatever reason. He can't read Japanese. He thinks he can. But watching him trying to read Japanese is like watching a toddler trying to climb a ladder. It just doesn't happen. And when it finally does, they get like 2 steps up and then they fall down and cry. At least in my experience. Yours may vary, obviously, or differ. But, yeah, he bought me 2 movies. That's one of them. Because he knows I'm a big 80s fan, and I love the Goonies. Who doesn't love the Goonies? I mean, some people, I guess, don't. It depends. Like, everyone's got their own opinion. I'm just saying, like, most of the people... Let's just say that most of the people that I knew liked Goonies. They were a big fan of it, and I can see why. It's a fun thing. It's watching kids go on adventure. And who can forget fucking, "Hey, you guys!" And who can't forget Chubbs and his little truffle shuffle, where he'd lift his shirt and shake his man titties and everything. That dude's like this big around now. I'm actually jealous. But, okay, so we gotta go grab some more movies. So we're gonna do a jump cut, and we'll show off some more. Alright, took a while, but I got back, and there's some more back there, but I'm not going to grab those because they're porn, and I can't show those because they have nudity on the front. One, I can tell you what they're called, though. Let's see. Co-ed Cream Pie, Baby Got Back. One's called Virginity, it's a Japanese porn, and I can't see what the other one says. Yeah, so, this is a couple of my collection. Most of my porn are on VHS, so... Because I bought those right before you can find porn in the YouTube format, and yeah, I bought those from my party store for $10 a pop, and sometimes they would come with a bonus magazine. I'm old-fashioned, what can I say? Okay, so basically this is going to be a little hard to do because, well, I had to make 2 piles. But anyways, let's get started. Let's just cut the shit. Alright, Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo. I do like the prequel better than this. This version is, or the sequel's okay. It's a little over the top. It's not as funny as the first one, though. And the story is not as good either. Some people may disagree with that, and that's fine. There are some funny moments, though. This is the Assume the Position edition, obviously, which so it has some special features and whatnot, like deleted scenes and some comedy reels and such. But yeah, so there you go. I remember when Rob Schneider did a kind of a promo on MySpace. He'd be like, "Hi, MySpace, my name is Rob Schneider, and I'm going to tell you about my newest movie, Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo." And that's how I found out about it. Wasn't able to see it in the theaters. A friend saw it in the theater, of course, didn't invite me. Even though I had the money to go see it. It's kind of dickheads I have sometimes, friends. But anyways, there is one movie we did see together, though. And a lot of people hate it, and that's okay. You're very well entitled to that. And that is the extended version, or extended unrated version of Director's Cut of King Arthur. Yeah, I really like this movie because I like The Legend of King Arthur. Now, a lot of people didn't like the way it ended and the way things went. They said, "Oh, that's not the events of what happened." Well, King Arthur, the whole thing about that is it's a mythology anyway. So you're never going to please everybody with that. Ooh, look at this. I bought this at Blockbuster, surprise, but there's some freebies in here. I totally forgot. Too bad they expired back in 2005. I could have saved some money on some Coca-Cola. But I'm too white to drink Coca-Cola, remember that? Also, you get a $50 gift card. Blockbuster, may you rest in peace. You know, there's that one left, but that's become a cult, basically a cult. I mean, it's just, why even run that? It's just one, but whatever. They got that one left, but I still think they're just dead. I don't even pay attention to it. There's a couple bad scratches on there. I just wanted to check the condition. I haven't touched this movie in a while. Anyways, yeah, awesome movie. It was really good. I watched it with my friends, and you know, I have a boner for the King Arthur story and the Knights of the Round Table, and I watched many variations of it. One movie that was really good. It was like a made-for-TV. Well, actually, it was a series. I think it was called Merlin. That was really good. Also, like King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, the cartoon, and it really angers me that they canceled that outright. But apparently they made a game on the SNES to basically say, hey, here's your second season, I guess. I've never beaten it, so it's really bad. Don't touch it. GameCube got a King Arthur game. It's a hack and slash. I think it's okay. It's not great, but it's cool. And it's got snippets from the movies and the movie and everything. So, you know, it's pretty much, it's just King Arthur. It just has its own, like, little bit of unique storytelling and unique experiences. Now, this I just bought out of curiosity. I know a lot of people do not like this iteration of this anime, but I wanted to see it because it's an OVA and it was cheap. It was like $2 at Big Lots, and I decided to buy it. But anyways, I got a Creation Dragon Ball GT. I like the story with GT. A lot of people hate GT. I like GT because of the story. Z had all the action sequences. That's probably why people prefer Z. And I know, you don't have to tell me, Akira Toriyama had nothing to do with GT, and that's fine. I don't care about that because I think Akira Toriyama is a little overrated. But that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I'm not saying his followers that did GT were any better. I mean, the art still sucks. Akira Toriyama, every character of his looks the fucking same. What is the difference between Goku and Chrono? I mean, Chrono has obviously lighter brown hair. Or better yet, Chrono and the fucking hero from Dragon Quest Swords on the Wii. They look exactly the same. There's almost no difference, just subtle ones. Akira Toriyama, fuck off. Anyways, this one is another 4-feature pack I bought for... The first two on the bottom are the reasons I bought this. Yes, Billy Madison with O'Doyle Rules. And, of course, Happy Gilmore with fuck this shit, fuck me in the fucking ass. These, yeah, just your bare bones. I mean, the other two, of course, are Liar Liar, which is alright. I still like the part where he's talking to his wife and she's like, what were you doing so important you couldn't come to your birthday? And he's like, having sex. The way he says that makes me laugh to this day. And I never saw Bruce Almighty because everyone told me it sucked. I still need to see it, though, because that was back when I cared about people's opinions. I bought that at $10, Walmart. It was one of the first purchases I made down here when I moved. And that was back when I actually cared about other people's opinions. That changed quickly, believe me. Okay, this movie is basically, this is a great movie. This is the widescreen edition. It's the 2-disc edition, of course. Once again, blockbuster. It's Troy with Brad Pitt and a few other people. And Troy was actually thought to be kind of like a land that was mythical and not real, much like Atlantis. But then, eventually they found out Troy was a real city and it really existed, and all the stories and legends were true. But yeah, it's as you would expect, two discs. Really damn good movie, by the way. This is great. I love this movie. I never got a chance to see it in the theater. My friends didn't see it in the theater. Otherwise, I could bitch about them another time. But it's really good. It's got a good storyline. It's about Hercules, the Great. And of course, you learn about, near the end of the movie, not to spoil it, but you learn about where the terminology Achilles' heel comes from. And yeah, it's got the Trojan horse, everything. It's great stuff. You need to watch that if you haven't already. Now, I don't really care for this series. A lot of people do, but whatever. This is one of those I found at one of the abandoned places that we clean up. But of course, Scream 4. This is just your standard run of the mill. I mean, you can even tell. I mean, it's a blank as fucking plain as Jane disc. I mean, it's Wes Craven. He's not a bad director at all. It's just boring. It's your run of the mill hack and slash horror flicks. I don't have much love for horror flicks these days, or the ones made after the 2000s, because I don't know. The thing about the 80s is they were cheesy, yes, but at the same time, the atmosphere was perfect. I remember watching, Jason flicks when I was a kid, and even now sometimes, I remember, well, not now, but like in the mid 2000s, there was a couple I still haven't seen. That I would just have this foreboding anxiety to where I would like watch one, go to work, and just be scared, like even at work. It was nuts. Like my mind space was weird. Now I didn't get a chance to see this one yet, but I heard it was really good, and I do want to see it. It's Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. I heard this is kind of like I guess a doomsday movie about the Mayans, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but I never saw it yet. I'm going to. I have that in my bucket list. Ah, yes. Who can't? Anthony Hopkins, fucking dope as shit. I mean, Hannibal. You guys want to know about a crazy motherfucker that killed a lot of people in a very interesting manner? This is the man. Look no further. This is a really damn good movie. I mean, the suspense is amazing, and it's just, you can't, once you start watching, you want to watch it to the end. It's really good. Anthony Hopkins kills that role of Hannibal Lecter. I love that movie. It's, I bought that at Big Lots for $3. Okay. There's not much I can say. I do like I never saw the sequel to this, but I do enjoy this one because it's hilarious, because Martin Lawrence, I still think, is a funny actor. He's not as funny as some of the other actors out there of the African American community, but Big Mama House Special Edition. I still remember one part where he's all like, it's like, oh, it's nice to see you, Mama. Oh, how can I forget about that ass? And he's all like, yeah. Oh, that's still funny to me. Okay, this next one will definitely. Why is it sticking? Oh, there's stickers on. Okay, that's fine. This should come as no surprise. And Beavis and Butthead Do America Special Collector's Edition. They sold this at my work. I remember when I posted it on Facebook, and people were like, "Oh, no way, your work's carrying that movie now?" I'm like, "Yeah, they carry movies, and they're dirt cheap." I mean, for a special edition, though, I mean, just look how plain that is. And I know there's smudges on it. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Alright, I didn't get a chance to see this one yet. I mean, Beavis and Butthead, basically, when they do America, it's basically they're hired by some dude or some chick. I don't remember exactly the plot. So they're hired by I think it's a chick. And they gotta kill somebody or something, and they go across the country and get in a bunch of shenanigans. I don't want to ruin it for you. That's what I'm trying not to do. I'm not trying to ruin it for you. But if you haven't seen it yet, you need to, especially if you're a Beavis and Butthead fan like myself. It's funny as shit. So yeah, Do America. I believe it's even on YouTube, but it's probably like censored happy as shit. I don't know. Now this movie I have not seen, but I need to, because I heard it was really good. It was made in 2003, but it's Denzel Washington Out of Time. And of course, I noticed this is a running theme here, the special edition. It's Denzel Washington. I love him as an actor. He's awesome, and I definitely would like to watch that. And another one for the bucket list. Now, this one I definitely have seen. I've seen the VHS of it, and it's really good and dark. I love this movie because Gabriel Bryan is awesome. I think he played didn't he play as Satan on End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger? That's another movie I want to get, because I kind of like that as well. But yeah, Stigmata. Yeah, very dark, suspenseful, and it's also got it'll leave you feeling a little bit uneasy by the time you're done with this. It's really awesome, though. So I don't like to give too much away. I just like to give my personal opinion on it. Now, I never seen this. My wife did, this movie, Stigmata. Oh, by the way, Stigmata was found in one of the trailers now this was given to us because my wife wanted to see it. We borrowed it, but we never gave it back because they never asked for it back, and then they end up moving. I didn't see this though because it just didn't look interesting to me. But it's the exorcism of Molly Hartley. It's the underrated version. I mean, it might be good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, what is it with women in movies about people being possessed? Someone explain that to me in the comments. This was one of the movies I had the day of my getting my DVD player, and of course it's not very good, but there are some funny moments in it because he fits the character. Not as much as the original person who died of I think lung cancer. I think he was a smoker. I can't remember his name either. I'll look it up. And anyways, Garfield the Movie. I never saw the sequel because this one was okay. It wasn't great, but there are some funny moments with him and Odie. And basically what happens is Odie gets captured and he has to go after him and save his ass. Now what's funny is Garfield's a CG cat, but the dog's real. No comment. Another movie we got from an abandoned place, abandoned trailer. I never even heard of this, but some of you may have. It's called The Ruins. Let me know what this movie's about and if it's any good. It might be good. It's not a special edition. That's interesting because most of these are special editions. I just noticed that. Okay, this is a little bit of cheating. This is a actual true video CD. Like this was professionally print. This was one of the ones my friends bought at the comic convention. He watched it and he wanted me to watch it. He never asked for it back because he's like, this explains the whole fusion thing of Dragon Ball Z. So, yeah, and as you can see right there, video CD. It's movie number 12. Like I said, I liked Dragon Ball, and I especially liked Japanese Dragon Ball. I don't like the art, I just like the story arcs and shit, but GT was still the best with the story. And first one was. GT was a continuation of that. Z was the action, and if you like the action, definitely worth your time. I bought this because my friend had the copy of this, and I kind of wanted to own one for myself because it was really funny. And of course, back during this time, this chick was fucking sexy as hell. Girl Next Door, it's the unrated version. Alicia Cuthbert, lick-lippingly sexy. And of course, you got that douchebag Emil Hirsch in it. But I mean, come on, just look at that picture. It kind of makes you wish you had see-through glasses so you can see through that blouse, The pains of being a male, my friends. Pains for being a male. Okay, now this movie, this is like definitely a budget movie of sorts, and it looked like it opened for a sequel, but there never was one. It's called Darkest Night. It's a pretty good medieval fantasy movie of sorts. It has some cheese in it, some like early CGI stuff, but it's not like to the point where it was like 90s or anything like that. I mean, it still looked competent. What's a shame, though, is it opened up for a sequel at the end, and I don't think one ever came out. And if one did, I don't know of its existence. I'll have to look it up sometime. And if you guys know if there's a sequel, please let me know in the name of everything. Okay, now I'll admit, the reason why I bought this is because I was expecting to be kind of pornish. And it's softcore, obviously. And that's the only reason why I bought it. Well, there is a reason I bought it. Okay, all these chicks are pretty hot, but the one that really caught my attention was this blonde. Because like I said, I have a real soft spot and real hard on for blondes. And she has perfect curves. Mwah, delicious. So, it's softcore porn. They sold this at Blockbuster. Let me see if it even shows. I don't have any Blockbuster thing to do. Yeah, it's softcore. I mean, you see some titty, you see an ass. It's okay. The movie itself was dull. I just cared for the blonde chick. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was horny in my 20s. Now this, I mean, it says it's Bruce Lee, but it's Bruce Lee with one E. I bought this because I love old kung fu movies from the day. Me and my father used to sit there and watch them a lot together. I always thought they were fun and interesting, and of course I like the choreography when it comes to martial arts. It's almost like watching an artistic masterpiece being painted, but instead of that, you're seeing people wave their fists and do all sorts of cool movements with their hands and shit. Anyways, it's The Legend of Bruce Lee. And yeah, it's got great fight scenes and everything. There's not really much in the way of a plot, though. It's just fighting and some little plot points. Nothing. I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. I forgot about this. I love this shit. Fucking Mr. Bill. I mean, come on. You gotta love Mr. Bill. Now, if you don't know what Mr. Bill is a clay figure in SNL back during its, I want to say its peak, or its, when it was most notable to be the most funniest comedy show of the evening time during the 70s. Mr. Bill basically is a clay figure that gets fucked up by his friend, Mr. Hands. And of course, you also have Mr. Oh shit, I can't remember the bad guy's name. I want to say Steve, but that doesn't sound right. But yeah, I was given this to us by a friend for my birthday one year, and I really appreciated it because I love Mr. Bill. It's stupid. Like, a lot of shit happens to him. He gets lit on fire or smushed or broken in half. You know, just all sorts of. I mean, it's done in a very cheesy manner, but it's just something I really like Mr. Bill. And what's cool is in was it Missouri? In Missouri, there's this. I think it's Missouri. Yeah, it's got. I think it's. Yeah, Uranus, Missouri. That's right. They got Mr. Bill action figures you can buy. I wanted to buy one, but $12.99. Nah. Okay, I wanted to show this earlier, but unfortunately, it was in this pile and not in the other pile. But I got the Extreme DVD edition of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. If you don't have Terminator 2 Judgment Day in your collection, you got some problems. Anyways, it's a 2-disc featurette, and 1 disc is already falling out. So I hate these spools, man. They don't hold discs for shit, and you end up scratching your shit because of it. What's neat though is with this is not only do you have basically the full version of Terminator 2, but you also what's weird is there's a high definition DVD player or DVD software on disc 2 for this version. So one's basically the HD version and one's the original version. And if you don't use a slip cover, you have the VHS, pretty much the box art VHS. I mean, that version, it's a little bit more zoomed out, so you see him in the bike and all that. But I still like this this new updated version of the box art with the silver and all that. That looks pretty dope. That's my opinion, anyways. Okay, all right. Now I bought this on a whim. Because this was back when superhero movies weren't as overdone as they are nowadays. So, and this guy, I still think, is underrated. I mean, not the actor per se, but the character. Ghost Rider. I mean, what's not to like about Ghost Rider? He's a flaming skull, and he wears fucking leather. He has a bike that's on fire, and basically, it's played by Nicolas Cage. He's an alright actor. But the character himself, it's dope as shit. I mean, no one ever talks about him. No one talks about Ghost Rider, and that makes me sad. But what's good about this is it's the extended cut, and it's 2-disc, obviously. So yeah, I don't think this is rated either. Let me double check. Yeah, so you see it right there, not rated. So that's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, yeah, I bought that at Blockbuster. Oh, Terminator 2, I got at my work, and like I said, Mr. Bill was given to me. All right, moving on. We're almost near done. I hope I'm not boring you. I'm trying not to bore you, but hey. All right, I'm a big Don Bluth fan. I loved him for a very long time, and of course, if you are also a Don Bluth fan, Secret of NIMH. I mean, look no further than this. I mean, it's tragic that the actor who played as Miss Bigsby committed suicide. But yeah, this is not a special edition or anything. This is just your plain Jane thing. Now, it was supposed to have a booklet inside, like an 8-page story booklet. But as you can see, mine didn't come with that, which is unfortunate. But hey, I bought that at Blockbuster. Had to, man. Don't buy the sequel though. In the Search of Timmy, that's garbage. Stay away. I'm talking like the plague. I mean, hold up a fucking crucifix if you have to, if it comes near you, and be like, the power of Christ compels you. That's how I feel about it. Oh my god, that movie was bad. Matter of fact, a lot of Don Bluth's movies were not very good. After like the 90s, maybe even in the 90s. Yeah, late 90s. Stay away from Don Bluth movies from that time. I'm sorry, I got DVDs all over the place now. That's why I was kind of reluctant to do this. Alrighty. Now, you remember how I told you I had Freddy vs. Jason before? Well, guess what? I got the 2-disc fucking version here as well. It's, at least I think it's 2 discs. Yeah. It's 2 discs, but unfortunately, once again, they're stacked. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's got a lot of content on here. It's got enhanced playback mode. That's what that T2 had, but it came with the player that enhanced the playback mode. I don't know what it did. I guess it was during the time when before HD was a thing, I think, maybe. But they gave you a way to watch it in HD. I mean, now that's not much of an issue. I mean, especially with Blu-ray. Anyway, Freddy vs. Jason, really awesome flick. You see teens get killed in fun ways, and of course, then you have the epic battle between Jason and Freddy. So that's worth watching. Okay, now this movie has its Christian overtones, and of course, it's a special edition because widescreen and all that. It's Kingdom of Heaven. This is actually a damn good movie. It's about the Crusades. If you know, Crusades was a time period where they would kill in the name of God more than anything else. And tons of blood was spilled, and a lot of people killed themselves over a mythical creature that may or may not exist. I'm going to go with no. But these people obviously believed it did. It was a thing. That their smiteful God was real, and it's like, okay, here's the question though I have to ask. Why do humans have to be his fucking slaves when it comes to proving his existence? Why can't he just go in the sky and be like, I exist, bitches? People are idiots. Right. So that's about that though. And it's actually done really good. It was made by Ridley Scott, and as you know, Ridley Scott also did Gladiator, and Gladiator was also a good movie. Matter of fact, you know what? I just recall, now that I think about it, my copy of Gladiator is still at my mom's. I need to get that back. Right. It's on VHS. Maybe I can just buy the DVD because they're cheap now. Alright. Yeah, we're down to the last, let's see. 6? Yeah, 6. Actually, no, I got these 3 too. Never mind. Rocky Balboa, of course. Rocky 6, as it should be called, but it isn't. Pretty awesome return of the Rocky character, and as you know, he also starred in the Creed movies 1 and 2. I don't know if there's going to be a Creed 3. If there isn't, that's going to be a shame. But I know Sylvester Stallone's not going to be in it. He pretty much indicated that Creed 2 he retired the Rocky character, which is kind of a shame. But then again, Sylvester Stallone's getting up there in age. He's in his 70s now, I believe, and he needs to take a break, at least in my opinion. Anyways, Rocky Balboa, they basically have a little computer-controlled match of Rocky and the champ at the time. Can't remember his name. Let me see if they'll tell me here. Mason Dixon. Yeah. They basically have a computerized match and see who would win. And they said Rocky win, and of course Mason's like, bullshit, being, pissed off that some old fucking, steal his glory in the ring. So they actually make the match happen, and and all that, and of course Rocky trains and all that, but it's a good movie. I still prefer the alternative ending over the official ending. That's just me though. Great movie though. It plays just like all the other Rocky movies, where Rocky gets his shit kicked out of him at first, and then he comes back. But that's the only spoiler I'm going to give you. But the storyline is great. It'll hit you in the feels, especially the first hour of the movie is total feels. Let's see. This one is actually, I think it's based off a board game. I did not know that there was an actual tabletop game of this name, but I know the movie was good. Pathfinder. Of course, the unrated version, because that's where you get all the blood and titties and gore and shit. Yeah, it's basically about Vikings, and they go to they fight and kill things, and there's like one boy, I guess, or one warrior that goes against the Vikings, and he's the Pathfinder. That's as far as I'm going with that. It's a good movie, though. You should watch it, especially if you're a fantasy guy and if you like Vikings. Now, I never saw this But this was another one of those movies that was... this wasn't given to us. This was actually... We found this in one of the trailers. I just wanted to make sure it was in there because it felt empty. Basically, Wanted. I heard this movie was actually popular when it was released in 2008. I never got a chance to see it yet, though, even though I have it in my collection. It will happen, though. That's definitely going to happen. Now, I will be honest, I bought this movie because, you know, everyone bought this movie for this, basically, because she gets kind of naked-ish and shit, and, at least one of the reasons one of my friends bought the movie, but me, I thought the movie was kind of meh. I'm just trying to... Anyways, fuck it. Species. Yeah. That's kind of a nice little cover art there, too. Kind of fappable. But, man, I'm sorry. I gotta see some nips and some cracks before I can whip out my dick and get the fapping. Alright, this is gonna make me look like a hypocrite. We're just about done, guys. It's gonna make me look like a hypocrite. As you all know, I'm not Christian. Okay, I know I made that video a long time ago saying I was. That's because it was force-fed into me through my mother and people in my life. But as you know, I'm not. But I bought this movie because it's actually good. I think it's good. A lot of you won't like it because of the propaganda of Christianity in it. But I do enjoy this movie. It's the Omega Code 2 Megiddo. Basically, it's about the Battle of Armageddon. And of course, you get some biblical shit. You know, like I said, this is propaganda at its finest. And, you know, force-feeding you shit. It's basically about the Battle of Armageddon that happens on the field of Megiddo where all the nations come together and fight each other. And then finally, Mr. I don't think exists up there comes down and kills all the unsaved people on the land and takes over. It sounds like a rubbish 80s cartoon ending, to be honest. If you're a Christian, that's fine. I'm not going to diss you on it. I just think, you know, if a person really wants his followers to believe he exists, he should prove his existence. They're like, oh, follow by faith, not by sight. Come on, we're not that stupid. If we have that ability, you gave it to us, so it's your fault. Here we go. Tim Burton. Tim Burton made some great shit, and this is no exception. Corpse and the Bride. I mean, like Nightmare Before Christmas, great stuff. You got Johnny Depp as the, as oh boy, and then you have, I forgot who Bitch Tits is. I don't even care, like, it's just a really good movie, though. It definitely has that whole, you know, the Tim Burton thing, that, Nightmare Before Christmas, that whole atmosphere. This movie does it in spades. It's really good. I would suggest anyone who's a Tim Burton fan, or a fan of that movie, to watch it. Okay, now, I'm not a fan of this guy. I'm not a fan of his movies either. I was given this by a friend who unfortunately passed away about a few years ago. I don't remember the exact year. But he gave it to me because he had 2 copies for some reason. But anyways, the last Harry Potter film, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Yeah, he gave it to me because he had 2 copies. And I said, movie free, fuck it. I don't care, give it to me. I haven't watched it yet. Because I just don't care about Harry Potter. This seems boring to me, anyways. Now, here's an I hate spindles. They need to be made better than this, right? Okay, I seen part of this. I will admit, I got some really good weed at my work, and I was stoned, and I was looking through our movies, and I saw this. I never got to watch all of it, but I did watch some of it, and it was a series based off the Never-Ending Story. It's Tales from the Never-Ending Story. This episode, or this part, is called The Gift. I believe it was a series. Kind of like, I can't think of it. But yeah, pretty damn good stuff. I liked it. My wife, well, I was stoned too, so that could have had something to do with it. I liked it. It's got fantasy elements and things, just like the actual movie, The Never-Ending Story. If you gotta watch one, stick with the original. That was filmed in Germany, by the way. The original. Of course, here's the other movie my friend bought for me, along with Goonies. And, of course, he's also named after my beautiful kitty cat. You know. Gremlin Special Edition. Mogwai. Yeah, if you ever wonder why I named him Mogwai, because, come on, Gizmo is fucking cute. And, I don't care what anyone says, Gizmo is cuter than Baby Yoda. Alright? That's cute. Baby Yoda is not. fuck off. Alright, we're down to the last one. This was what I wanted to show last night with my big boxes and things. I'm a big fan of this movie, this trilogy. The third one was still the weakest, obviously. Godfather, the 3-movie collection. And believe it or not, these are all the special editions. They have the commentary, and they all of them have the commentary, actually. So that's cool. I need to watch those with the commentary on, because I want to see what they were thinking when they think. But yeah, this one's done a little better. I mean, you had the first two here, and then you had the last one here. So they should have done that more with their little movie packs. Okay, and that's pretty much my DVD collection. I know it's not as big as some people probably was thinking it was, but it's big enough to me. Sorry if I didn't explain movies better than I wanted to. I didn't want to make this go any longer than it should, but yeah, I do like my collection, and the movies I have not seen, I do intend to watch this year, or maybe this year, maybe next year. I don't know. It really depends on everything that goes on, because it's going to be a busy last 2 months of this year, so I may have to wait till I move into my new place before doing so. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and get this thrown into YouTube. I will see you guys later. You take good care of yourselves. Keep gaming, keep loving, and keep it retro. And we'll see you later.